They say that fast food kills you slowly over time. Heart disease, clogged arteries, diabetes, but this is after many, many years of consumption. But these meals, they didn't wait. Today, I'm gonna be eating fast food items that killed people instantly. And I'm gonna be crowning victor the most delicious, deadliest fast food meal in the universe. Starting with McDonald's. I'm sure a bunch of people have died eating McDonald's, but somebody instantly died from eating this meal right here. A quarter pounder with cheese. Family of a Colorado man who died after eating McDonald's quarter pounder says he put his trust in these restaurants. And that's true, millions of people every day put their trust in these giant corporate behemoths that serve food to us. Food, daily. And they don't give a fuck. They don't. If they have a few deaths here and there, as long as they could settle these lawsuits and continue making millions and millions of dollars, then it's just water off their back. This story is particularly insane because this 88-year-old man went with his wife to McDonald's. It was a common thing they did. It was a cute little cheap date, probably sparking up the romance, reminding them of the good old days when they used to go there together during their youth. And in late September, this 88-year-old man went to a McDonald's, he got a quarter pounder, and he ended up getting very sick. He was in the hospital for 4 whole days. And the doctors concluded he had E. coli. And keep in mind, 88 years old is fucking old. Okay, so your body's pretty fragile at that point. But this tough son of a bitch, what do you think he did when he got out? Do you think he went on a raw diet, eating just plain veggies to regain his health? Do you think he did a coffee enema? Shoved a Starbucks cup up his ass to get a little cleansing of the colon? Nah, this warrior went straight back to McDonald's and got another quarter pounder. And he got E. coli again, this time killing him. And the most tragic part about this story is his wife, who was with him while he was eating this burger, didn't like onions. So she gave her husband her onions, ultimately leading to her believing that she accidentally contributed to his death after 70 fucking years of marriage. And surely some sort of justice was brought to McDonald's for killing an 88-year-old man who was in his 70th year of marriage with the love of his life. Because after all, he did get E. coli twice from the same McDonald's. Well, actually, the family at this point have not filed a lawsuit against McDonald's or anyone involved. Right now, they say all they want is the man they loved back in their life. Ah, shit, man. When you get older, you can't really throw stuff. That's something you guys are gonna learn at some point. Throwing is it's a young man's game. But let's give it a try. Quarter pounder with cheese. It's got the onions, got the cheese, pickles. It's not great, but McDonald's has a nostalgic taste to it. It reminds me of being a kid. I don't know if it's the bun or the pickles, but something about a McDonald's sandwich, you could take a bite into it and immediately know it's McDonald's. And I gotta give it to them, the bun, it's picturesque. I gotta give the quarter pounder with cheese a 7.5 out of 10. It's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. As much as I wanna hate it due to the fact that McDonald's just sucks, as a heartless, soulless business that's probably led to more deaths than we really even are aware of, due to the fact that most of middle America, this is their fucking nutrition. This is their source. We're talking food pyramid, right? All the way at the bottom, the most food that you eat, it's fucking McDonald's for a lot of people in America. Now the next dangerous fast food meal that has led to some trouble is a sandwich from Subway called the Cold Cut Trio sandwich. Also known as the Cold Cut Combo, I believe, because that's what I had to order to get that sandwich. This article stating, man claims Subway baked a knife into a sandwich. A New York man claimed in a lawsuit filed on Wednesday that he found a knife with a 7-inch blade baked into the bread of his foot-long Cold Cut Trio Subway sandwich. Which that's gotta be on purpose. Who the fuck is accidentally baking a knife into I mean, maybe because I've seen some questionable characters working at Subway. There's a chance this person making the sandwich was nodding off, shooting up drugs in the bathroom, coming out, making sandwiches, going back into the bathroom every few hours. It's possible, but it seems intentional a little bit. John Agnesini, 26 years old, said he had already taken a few bites from the sandwich in late June when he spotted the knife jutting out from the bread's crust. Which, how do you even get that far? How do you get a few bites into a sandwich, not just one bite, before you realize there's a 7-inch knife inside? No bites. You should immediately recognize that. One bite, you should absolutely recognize that. But for a couple of bites to happen, this guy either has zero self-awareness or he bit into it on purpose because he was going for the lawsuit. Which, of course, he sought out $1 million from Subway. Subway's statement was, "At Subway restaurants, we take food safety and customer comments very seriously. We are aware of the complaint made and are investigating the facts alleged. As a pending legal matter, we cannot discuss the matter any further." So classic PR response from Subway. They don't give a shit. Here's the sandwich. I mean, damn, this thing reeks of onions. It smells like BO. It smells like a Greek guy who hasn't used deodorant in about 7 days. And of course, to make this a little bit more realistic and to see if the flavor profile changes at all, I gotta put the knife inside. Pick these bad boys up from Target. I'm gonna be using this one right here, this 5.5-inch serrated utility knife. And also, I just wanna see if a knife is in a sandwich, how realistic is it to not notice that it's there until you take a few bites? Is this guy a fucking idiot? Or is it actually possible to not notice that there's a knife in your sandwich? Look at that beauty. Take the tip off for you guys, a little visual ASMR. And of course, I'm gonna wash this because you never know what kind of bullshit's on it when it comes from the factory. Okay, so as I was saying, this guy did not notice that there was a knife in his sandwich, and this knife is only 5.5 inches. The knife in his sandwich was around 7 inches. So I can't even really bite this unless I put the sandwich together. Then I think it's more possible. So we have to assume his sandwich didn't get cut in half if he didn't notice. I mean, you tell me, would you get this from a Subway and immediately bite into it, or would you perhaps notice that there's a sharp blade here and a giant fucking handle at the end? That being said, time for the taste test. I'm gonna take 3 bites, just like the guy. So far, I have not bit blade. I hate to say it, but that's delicious. I don't know if it was the knife adding a little bit of metal flavor profile, little notes of metal into the sandwich, but it's just delicious. I love an Italian sub. There's something about low quality, extra preservative, shitty cold cuts, like Italian cold cuts. It really just, it's hard to beat. Now, was this guy a scammer for taking 3 bites in his sandwich before he realized there's a 7-inch knife in there? Probably. But also, if Subway puts a knife in your sub, then I can't really blame the guy for milking it a little bit and trying to get some money out of it. That being said, Subway sandwich, the cold cut trio with a 7-inch knife inside, I gotta give it a 8.2 out of 10. Popeyes. So I got the spicy chicken sandwich. The sandwich itself, the Popeyes sandwich, didn't kill anybody. This one's a little bit different because what happened with the Popeyes chicken sandwich, I'm sure some of you guys remember, but people were killing each other over the sandwich. That's how, like, there was this moment in time where Chick-fil-A and Popeyes were having this viral feud over who has the better chicken sandwich, and leave it to mankind to murder each other over a fast food sandwich. But it happened. This article says, man sentenced to 22 years for fatal stabbing at a Maryland Popeyes. The guy was convicted after stabbing a Popeyes customer who reportedly cut to the front of the line for a chicken sandwich. And now he's doing 22 years in prison. So this sandwich is probably fucking delicious. Of course, I went through the drive-thru to minimize chances of being murdered. It looks pretty. It's a pretty looking chicken. I mean, this sandwich is delicious. I'm not gonna lie, I housed it. It was the last bite right here. I gotta give that like an 8 out of 10. It's delicious. But to stab somebody and go to prison for 22 years because they cut you in line, it's not worth it. It's not that good. If somebody cut me in line at a Popeyes, I would probably just be like, hey, there's a line. Yeah, to go immediately to shanking somebody because they cut you in line, I mean, that really just puts into perspective how this fucking crazy viral sandwich feud was. It was like Black Friday every single day for a month. I'm talking peak Black Friday. Like back in the day, people would get trampled in a Best Buy because they're trying to buy their kid a PS2. This chicken sandwich feud had the same exact energy as Black Friday. They say good pussy will make you do some pretty crazy things, but a good chicken sandwich will have you serving a life sentence. Bringing us to our next deadly fast food meal. This isn't much of a meal, but my God, has this thing killed some people. 2 to be exact, at least. I'm talking about, of course, Panera's Charged Lemonade. Now, this is not the original formula because unfortunately I went in today and I asked for the Charged Lemonade and they're like, yeah, we don't have it. Too many people were dying, we got sued too many times, so they eventually got rid of it. The notable deaths that happened from the Charged Lemonade included a 21-year-old college student, female, who suffered cardiac arrest after consuming one cup of the drink, as well as a 46-year-old Florida man who died after drinking 3 Charged Lemonades, which, I mean, that's fucking insane, having 3 of them. But not as insane as you'd think. Because me personally, I have drank quite a few of these. In fact, I worked a warehouse job where I delivered wine, and every day before work, I would walk into Panera. They had this thing called Unlimited Sips Club where you just walk in, you sign in into this little iPad that's like 30 feet away from the counter, by the way. And then you just grab a cup, you fill up your drink, and you leave. And the way this thing is set up, I mean, everybody was fucking stealing. Half the people filling up their cups did not belong to the Sip Club. And the reason people were dropping dead from this left and right is because a lot of people didn't know there was caffeine in it. And not only was there caffeine in these drinks, there was a lot of caffeine. I'm talking almost 400 milligrams of caffeine. And 400 milligrams of caffeine is about the daily safe limit of caffeine. And people were getting that in one drink. But the problem is it's not coffee, so a lot of people were going over to the lemonade stand thinking it was normal lemonade, and they were getting the equivalent of 2 energy drinks to the dome. And since there was no caffeine content labeled on it, it led to some disastrous things. But since they discontinued it, I'm trying the closest thing they have to it, which is the guava lemonade. Or gava? Is that how you say it? Gava or guava? And it's trash. Honestly, it's trash. And the Charged Lemonade wasn't good either. I was just drinking it because I was heavily addicted to caffeine and had to get through my shitty warehouse job. Yeah, but Panera really fucked up with this one. Panera Charged Lemonade, I gotta give it a 5 out of 10. It's fucking terrible. But the caffeine bang for your buck, especially if you had that Sips Club where you get unlimited drinks for the entire month, the value is incredible. But this shit is garbage. Just stick to coffee. Perhaps the most intimidating of all of these meals has got to go to the gas station nacho cheese. I'm sure you guys have walked into a 7-Eleven before and seen that nacho stand in the corner that is underutilized, to say the least, rightfully so. Final product looks a little bit like this. Now, while the incident I'm about to explain to you guys didn't happen at a 7-Eleven, it was some sort of smaller gas station chain within Australia. I just had to use 7-Eleven for the sake of, I don't fucking live in Australia. So this article says 1 person dead and 9 hospitalized with botulism after eating nacho cheese sauce. And I lied, it did not happen in Australia. It actually happened in Sacramento, California. But still, I'm not flying to California to potentially die from gas station nacho cheese. I could just do that by walking to my nearest 7-Eleven like I did. But I want to zero in particularly on a woman who was hospitalized. I believe she survived the situation because her concoction in which she utilized said gas station cheese was quite unique. In fact, a little disturbing. She concocted botulism after dipping a Dorito into her nacho cheese, which, for those of you who don't know, Doritos naturally have nacho cheese flavor. So the fact that she needed extra nacho cheese, I think that's a concern of its own. Very American thing to do. But I think she was onto something, because this is magnificent. Look at this bad boy. Now that is what I call a California delicacy. I gotta give that an 8.5 out of 10. I don't think Chef Gordon Ramsay could make my taste buds dance like that if he fucking tried. Now, what is botulism? It's a good question. I probably should have read this before I started scarfing it down. But botulism is a rare illness caused by nerve toxins released by bacteria called Clostridium botulinum. Don't take my word for that pronunciation. Symptoms include blurred vision, drooping eyelids, slurred speech, and paralysis, among others. In some cases can be fatal. And symptoms typically begin to appear around 18 to 36 hours after eating the food. So if this video doesn't get uploaded, I think you guys know why. And the reason botulism happens is just because the food is not being stored properly. The temperatures are off. Food safety is not being practiced, therefore the cheese becomes poisonous. But assuming your cheese is not poisoned, this is a phenomenal combination. That Amazonian goddess, she was onto something. Bringing us to Chipotle. Chipotle is one of those things that I personally love, even though I'm well aware of the amount of E. coli outbreaks that they've had. And E. coli is pretty serious. I mean, it's fucking like poop particles. But if you're telling me Chipotle has poop in it, consider me the Joey Chestnut of poop, because I eat this shit every single day practically. If you have an iron gut like I do, and you could withstand a few dingleberries in your Chipotle bowl, I highly recommend it as far as fast food, because for 14 bucks, I can get rice, which is your carbs. I could get beans, which is carbs and fiber. I could get extra beans. They don't even charge you for that. And then I could get double chicken, which is a fuck ton of protein. Not to mention that there's protein in the beans. I mean, I might be looking at 80 grams of protein right here, double chicken, extra beans. Where else are you gonna get 80 grams of protein plus fiber for under 15 bucks? That's the only reason I recommend it. Just a few of the Chipotle situations that have arisen include a 17-year-old who died after eating a burrito bowl because the cheese sauce had peanuts in it and he had a severe peanut allergy. An E. coli outbreak in 2015 that sickened more than 50 people in 14 different states. A Broadway star named Jeremy Jordan who claimed he almost died after eating Chipotle, and this statement by him alone led to the chain's stock falling 6% in one day. And not to start any conspiracies or anything, but a weight loss influencer named Brandy Mallory walked into a Chipotle, got a burrito bowl, walked out, got into her car, and she never left the parking lot. Now, did her burrito bowl insta-kill her? Probably not, but it is notable to throw into this segment. That being said, let's dive in. It's phenomenal for fast food. It's just convenient, it covers all the bases, and I'm not gonna say it's healthy, but macronutrient-wise, it's pretty good. It's obviously not as good as real Mexican food. Here in Texas, the Mexican food is to die for. Some of the best shit I've ever had in my life. So it doesn't compare to that, but it's convenient. And you know what you're getting every single time. I gotta give this an 8.4 out of 10. I think that brings it to second place. I mean, that 2015 E. coli Chipotle outbreak was it was so bad, in fact, that my parents banned me from going to Chipotle. So whenever I wanted to go, I had to treat it like I was visiting a mistress. I would sneak out and lie about where I was going to. I had to turn my phone location off. That way I could get some adequate protein after the gym. Ultimately, Chipotle paid a $25 million fine in 2020 to cover that 2015 E. coli outbreak. And that brings us to Five Guys. And I gotta say, Five Guys might be the most dangerous of all of these fast food places. And not because the food is particularly unhealthy, which it is. More so, it's because they treat the place like it's some sort of peanut worshipping temple. It's very odd. You walk in there and there's bags of peanuts stacked to the ceiling. There's scoops where they allow you to scoop out peanuts and eat them while you're waiting for your burger. The burgers, the fries, they're cooked in peanut oil. It's like this place was designed to ethnically cleanse people with peanut allergies. And guess what? People walk in there and just the fucking fumes from the peanuts cause serious issues for people. And I will say they do a good job once you're in there having a sign saying, hey, everything's cooked in peanut oil. By the way, I think people with peanut allergies can consume products with peanut oil because it's refined. I don't fucking know. I know the real issue is the peanuts that are just lying around, because if that aroma, you open that door, that aroma hits some grandma trying to cross the street and she has a peanut allergy, guess what? She's not crossing the street. And that's precisely what happened to a 23-year-old Massachusetts man who had a peanut allergy and decided to get some Five Guys with his buddies. And whether it was the burger with the refined peanut oil or it was just the peanuts that were there in general, in about 25 minutes after consuming his Five Guys, he started feeling unwell. His friends administered his allergy medication, but it only did so much, and unfortunately he passed away. Now I will be trying said peanut, and I actually got a burger too, just because, quite frankly, I'm a fat ass, and I wanted a Five Guys burger. I haven't had one in a long time, okay? Sue me. Well, let's crack this boy open. I mean, it's a fucking peanut. What do you expect? I'll give it a 6. Is it worth basing the entire identity of your restaurant around something that if the wrong guy walks in there, he drops dead? I mean, from a business person perspective, I wouldn't do it, but I am glad that Five Guys exists because one of the better burgers that's out there. It's ugly as all hell, but goddamn is it good. Five Guys to me is probably the third best burger. In my opinion, my humble opinion, In-N-Out is number 1, 2 is Shake Shack, 3 is Five Guys. But the price, man, this was over $14. I think it was $14.50 for this burger. I didn't get fries, didn't get a drink. This was only the burger. But if you've never had Five Guys before, let me explain how good it is. Okay, I had a friend who moved to the United States from India at age 18. He had never consumed beef in his entire life. I think it was against his religion. And when he came to America, it suddenly occurred to him that there's cheeseburger places everywhere. Let me try some of these places. So he went on a conquest. He went to McDonald's, he went to Burger King, he went to Wendy's, and he loved them all. He was in complete awe. And then he tried Five Guys. And when I tell you, I will redact his name, because I don't want to get him in trouble for consuming beef as an Indian man. God forbid an Indian man put some beef in his belly after a workout, put some muscle on his arms. But this man, whose name I won't mention, went on a Five Guy kick where every day for 2 weeks straight, he ate a Five Guys burger. And I know it because I worked with him and he would bring it in every day for lunch. And I've never seen a happier man in my life. He has since tapered off his Five Guys addiction, but that's how powerful of a burger they make. And I don't even think it's the burger itself. Like, all the toppings are weirdly good. The tomatoes are perfect, the onions, the mayonnaise, and then you throw in the French fries with the vinegar boardwalk style. It's definitely not the best burger place in the world, but it's an experience. You gotta try it once, assuming you're not allergic to peanuts. But that's really it. As far as the dangerous fast food items, I gotta say the winner, as simple as it is, it's the Dorito chip with some cheese sauce, with some extra nacho cheese sauce on top. As autistic and fucking diabolical of a combination as that is damn delicious. And if that means there's a 0.05% chance of a flesh-eating bacteria being in that nacho cheese sauce, then that's a gamble that I'm willing to take.